thank you all for braving the weather, coming out to our inaugural Faculty Development Symposium. I want to welcome all of you, both senior and junior faculty, and we probably have a few people connected between that. But I think that, especially with the recruitment of so many new people in our faculty, that this will be an even more important project for us as a department to begin to access the resources within our own department, the resources outside our department and our institution, and probably resources even outside our institution, to begin to develop and help to develop the academic careers of our junior faculty and continue our development as mid-level and senior faculty. This is the first of, I hope, many. We're already beginning to plan the second of these, which will focus more on developing excellence in ourselves as educators, teaching the teachers to teach, something like that. So keep an eye out for that posting. Hopefully we won't have to get through for the snow the next time. Shireen, Ahmad has put together, spent an enormous amount of energy and time and thought about putting this together and inviting speakers. She and Marlon have just done a spectacular job for us, and I want to publicly and formally thank her for that, because this, as I said, is probably our next most important project that we're going to undertake. So with that, Shireen, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And I really have to thank all of the folks who are collaborating today and putting this together, and Marla. We really couldn't do this without their help. We have talked about mentoring in the department. Many of you have researched the literature and helped to put together the extensive bibliography that we have on our website. And of course, the awards, the mentorship awards that we've given out at our annual dinner is evidence of the fact that we have some very experienced and successful mentors in our department. But today, we're going to hear from some of the experts, folks who spent their professional lives mentoring students, mentoring faculty, and have received recognition for that, not only in this institution, but also nationally. Our first speaker is Dr. Bill Pearce, and Dr. Pearce doesn't need any introduction to this group, but I do want to tell you about some of the things that you may not know about Dr. Pearce. He rarely tells us all the details about himself. Dr. Pearce graduated from Harvard University in 1971, and he completed his medical education and general surgery residency at the University of Colorado, and his vascular surgery fellowship right here at Northwestern in 1982. He's board certified in general surgery, vascular surgery, and critical care medicine. So you're very much belong here with our group. He's chief of the Division of Vascular Surgery and the medical director of the Vascular Laboratory, and also associate director of the Bloom Cardiovascular Institute. Dr. Pearce is an established researcher. In 1992, he received the NIH Academic Award in systemic and pulmonary vascular diseases. And he's one of the few surgeons who's been recognized for his contributions to the better understanding of vascular diseases. He's got a wide range of investigative interests, ranging from basic cell and molecular mechanisms in aneurysm formation to gene therapy for critical limb ischemia and outcome studies in interventional procedures. He's published more than 200 peer-reviewed articles and 99 chapters and 24 textbooks of vascular surgery. He's spoken before scientific communities worldwide. He's served on the editorial boards of numerous journals related to vascular disease, and he's going to talk to us on how to be an effective mentor. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I find it very difficult to talk about mentoring for a lot of different reasons. The first is that I'm not really an expert. It's just something I do in my life. I've not done studies on it like I've done on aneurysms or other things. And so I hardly call myself an expert. The second part of it is that it's very intrinsic to your own nature. And so trying to dissect out what makes a mentor from your own psyche is really difficult. And then third, talking amongst your colleagues, friends, and others is sort of embarrassing in a way to share with you many of my thoughts. But what I'm going to do this morning is to cobble together two talks that I've given in the past. One to an academic, junior academic society for surgery, and one that I gave during my mentoring award presentation. And so it's going to be a collection of thoughts, and it's going to be really some reflections upon what mentoring is all about. And one thing that I do as a chair of the American Vascular Association, that's really the foundation of our National Vascular Society. And I'm sure that you all have a charitable foundation in your own society. And there's some guy that's the head of it that's always bugging you for money. Well, that's me in my society. So I'm in charge of raising funds for our charitable foundation in vascular surgery. And one of our biggest initiatives in this foundation is to establish funding for KO8 awards. The KO8 Mentored Awards are NIH awards, and there's the K-23s and K-12s, but there's a whole series of these KO awards that the NIH has developed to take junior faculty to an independent investigator. And so the Society for Vascular Surgery got together with the NIH probably 10 years ago and said that we want to participate in a collaborative agreement with the NIH so that we can support young vascular surgeons to become vascular surgeon scientists. Now the KO8 award supplies about $75,000 in support. The NIH believes that everybody in medicine makes about $190,000. So there's a big delta there between what's really actually paid to your faculty and what the NIH supports. So that delta has to be filled either by your department funds, your division funds, or by some other funding. And so if you're in an academic practice as we are and money is tight, you really don't want people to do basic science research because it's very costly to you. It costs you that delta, the difference between what the NIH believes you should make and what is actually paid market value. So our society said, okay, we'll pay that delta. We'll pay that difference. So if you get a KO8 award, get the support, we'll pay the difference between what the NIH supports and what that is. And so that's a lot of money. So I spend a great deal of my time talking to foundations, talking to industry, talking to a number of people because these are 5-year awards. And so you're responsible for that delta for the next 5 years. And then if you have 2 people at the same time, you can see how that builds up pretty quickly. So through that experience and through my own experience with KO8 grantees, I've had a good opportunity to understand that. And the institution here has placed greater and greater emphasis on the role of mentoring. And you'll see there's mentoring the mentor, there's teaching the teacher, there's all kinds of programs that are available. And I'll start with some of the reflections that I've had on mentorship. And when I talk to the junior surgical associations called the Academic Association for Surgery, which is all general surgeons and vascular surgeons and everybody put together, but it's people that in the first couple of years in their practice, it's the most junior of our societies. And so that group polled their group and said, what are the things that attract you to a job? And what are the top 10 things? And there's a list of the top 10 things. It's really the mentorship that draws people to a program. You may say it's geography, you may say it's a variety of other things and lifestyles, but when it comes down to being serious in your academic practice, it's probably the mentorship that's part of it. And so the role of mentoring and mentorship is extremely important for these young academic physicians.